Extremely dangerous Category 4 Hurricane Helene is nearing landfall in the Florida Big Bend. Good evening, I'm Mike Naso with this 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time video update on our very powerful Hurricane Helene. Look at that radar image, the core of Category 4 winds getting very, very close there to the coastline of the Big Bend of Florida, and it is going to cause a lot of problems with wind, rain, storm surge, and crashing waves. Here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. Now, this is as of 8 p.m. Eastern. We get hourly updates, so there'll be a new update at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and so on. It was at 28.7 north, 84.3 west. Maximum sustained winds are 130 miles per hour, so that makes it a Category 4 hurricane, and it's racing north-northeast at 23 miles per hour. The pressure's been falling all evening long. If you were watching these videos throughout the afternoon, we've just seen Helene really start to bottom out quickly. 942 millibar pressure, and it is currently about 80 miles west-southwest of Cedar Key, or about 115 miles south of Tallahassee, with very, very strong winds on the way. Now, a Category 4 hurricane, we are looking at catastrophic wind damage at the coastline, but some of these buildings might not even see the wind because they'll be underwater from a devastating storm surge. I'll talk about that momentarily. Obviously, the forecast has the hurricane, after it comes ashore, pushing into Georgia, still as a hurricane, and causing a lot of wind damage, power outages, and problems. And then as it weakens, the winds will die down, but the rainfall will loop around here over the Tennessee Valley, and we could have a major flood threat. This is a very intense storm, and as evident here, we had a NOAA aircraft have a mechanical issue in the eye of the hurricane shortly after, say, 7 o'clock or so, where the hurricane was moving to the north-northeast at 23, the aircraft flew into the eye wall, and then if you watch their flight pattern, clearly something happened to where they ended up trapped in the eye. It appears from what we're hearing it was an updraft that they got caught in, and they had mechanical issues, but they were able to spit themselves back out, and it looks like they're either returning to base or going in for another round. So, again, this is one of their Lockheed P-3 Orion aircrafts, and these folks are really brave doing this, flying into these hurricanes. We don't have any information about more than that, but as we do, we'll pass that along. Now, here is the eye wall of Hurricane Helene on radar. Look at this red eye, very, very powerful. The aircraft are reporting it's closed, although this might be a little bit of dry air in here. Regardless, it's so tightly coiled and it's so strong and so close to the coastline that at the best case scenario would be that it just stops intensifying, but it's already a Category 4 hurricane, and that water is already pushing on shore. Obviously, Cedar Key right here, Perry right here, downtown Tallahassee up here, Carabel, Apalachicola. This is areas here called the Forgotten Coast, because it's one of the few areas in Florida that isn't heavily populated, thankfully. But in an area like Perry, there are folks there, and if you're there, batten down, because this eye wall is going to move right over you very, very quickly, and the winds are going to go from about 50 miles an hour to 60 miles an hour, all the way up over 130 miles per hour very, very quickly, and that is going to cause a lot of devastation along these communities here. A lot of these areas are probably already underwater from that storm surge with really high waves. Now, this map shows greater than 9 feet above ground level, but I'm telling you, this could be 10, 15, 20 feet. Homosassa Springs, all the way to these inland areas. So if there's any little communities, get to high ground if you haven't evacuated. Please do so. I know the sheriffs have been out there getting people away from the roadways, trying to hunker down. People in Perry said that they saw the highway patrol. If sheriffs tell you to get out, get to safety, do it, because this hurricane is coming in fast. You don't have any time left as of 8:35 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm looking at my watch as I record this. We're running out of time. There's the infrared satellite again. I don't see any evidence of any kind of weakening. If anything, it's tightening up a little more. So this is looking like it's going to come ashore as a Category 4 hurricane. A very, very bad situation. The last time we had a Category 4 hurricane strike Florida was 2 years ago, and that was Hurricane Ian. that was 150 miles per hour, and that was down near areas of Captiva Island, and we saw what it did to Fort Myers Beach. So the only saving grace is these areas are a little less populated, but where there are homes and businesses, they are going to take a fierce battering, to say nothing about the damage inland that's going to spread into Georgia. If I scroll through areas of Twitter here, we're looking at constantly updated information. This is areas here with record crests predicted. Okay, so the rainfall in areas even in western western North Carolina, areas near the Tennessee Valley, you guys had bad floods back in 1916, 2004. We could see flooding of that type of level again, and that's not good news. Look at this video of Hurricane Helene. This was a bridge in Tampa right here, and look at, people were still driving on this bridge. They closed it, thankfully, before somebody got killed, but it is just ridiculous what was going on there with the water rises, and Tampa is nowhere near the core of this hurricane. Here's the latest from Georgia. Now, we do have a hurricane warning for portions of north central Georgia. Winds of 74 miles per hour or higher. Look at this. Extending all the way through areas of Macon, in through the middle of the state, and a tropical storm warning for all of Georgia in effect. So the wind damage is going to be bad. You guys are going to have a lot of outages. Look at these potentials up to 110 miles an hour, all the way into Macon. And then look at major hurricane force all the way into Albany, Georgia. Very, very devastating conditions. Extended power outages are likely as Helene moves in. We also have tropical storm force winds, and they're trying to give you the best indication of when it's going to happen. Atlanta, probably 3 a.m., Athens, 3 a.m., Macon, midnight. This is all going to happen overnight tonight. So the next several hours are going to be really rough for our friends there in North Florida and all throughout Georgia as the core of Helene moves on in. But I'm Mike Naso with continuing video update coverage. We'll watch as this eye wall makes its fast approach, burying itself in the Big Bend of Florida, and I will continue to give you updates on it as they come in. Again, this update is about 20 to 9 at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. If you're watching this, we'll get another update from the National Hurricane Center. Again, a very dangerous hurricane, Category 4 Hurricane Helene, nearing landfall in Florida. Stay tuned for further coverage of this emergency hurricane situation for the southeastern United States.